Hey everyone, welcome back to Bourbon Battles. I'm Joe.
I'm Chad.
Hey, hopefully you watched part one of our Sip It, Don't Flip It series. We're going to get into part two.
Megan wants her money.
I know, we got to get her a check. We'll be right back with you. Okay, here we go. Real quick recap of what we talked about in part one. If you didn't see it, I'll try to put a link in the description for part one.
Yeah.
We talked about secondary pricing, liquor store secondary pricing. We pulled up a bunch of examples of what we're currently seeing in the market on different Facebook pages. You need some whiskey to drink, bud?
Maybe. Go ahead and keep talking.
There's all kinds of it.
Ain't no sense in drawing it out.
So just, for example, some things that were not crazily overpriced, some things that are crazy overpriced. So check out that first video and you'll see some of that stuff. We talked about distillery only releases. We pay a premium for those if we don't live near the distillery. And we could both kind of said, yeah, we would if we really wanted it.
Depending on what it was.
Depending on what it was.
And how, if it's distillery only, some things, yeah.
Yeah.
I went off on a little tangent about Peerless, but hey, it's what it is.
If you're anywhere near Louisville within a couple hours, right, and you want to go there, you got to go to Peerless.
If you're a whiskey fan at all.
Yeah, go do their little flight and try it.
They got Peerless and Michter's and Angel's Envy. All
Evan Williams right there. All kinds of. You could go out of there. You could just go down Whiskey Row, even if you don't get anything at Old Forester, right? Do that little loop and walk out of there with 3 or 4 unicorns every single time you go.
Probably.
Every time. So we talked about things to hunt instead of unicorns, like store picks, local distilleries.
Store picks are unicorns, especially if they're good store picks.
Yeah. And, we talked about Red Barrel Liquors, our friends over in Mooresville, Indiana. Got great stuff out there. Go to small distilleries like Journeyman and Starlight and those kind of things. There's a lot of new distilleries out there that don't have a lot of presence in the market, so they're lesser known. So get them while the getting's good. Stuff like Monk's Road. Monk's Road's going to, well, I better not, Steven, I didn't want to let the cat out of the bag. Remind me to tell you later. So,
have you ever tried to put a cat back in the bag after you let it out?
Depends if it's been declawed or not. It's a way different story. We talk about some different hidden gems, and if you watch us very much, you'll know we love Evan Williams Bottle and Bond, Maker's 46, and the Cask Strength, and those different things. Knob Creek, those are all fantastic whiskeys that you don't have to pay extra for.
Right.
The stores aren't going to be charging extra for.
No. The Maker's Mark, no one charges extra. The Maker's Mark, a lot of people can't sell it, which I love.
The barrel picks around for like 8 months every time, at least.
Certain places.
Yeah. So now let's talk about some other things, some different ways you can get these great whiskeys without going and paying crazy prices. Distillery only, which we've touched on that, right? Evan Williams 12-year. All you got to do is go down there and do a tour. Which is fun.
Well, it's smart that they did that. I hate to say it, but
because people were flipping it.
Yeah, whatever.
So you go down there and get an absolute one of the best unicorns there ever was. Just do a tour and they'll let you buy it at retail.
The tour is worth doing too.
Oh, I have not actually done it there.
Oh, it's worth it.
Yellowstone Family Recipes, a distillery only release. That's when I get all the peaches in, and you think I'm batshit crazy.
Why'd I cuss?
Oops, did I?
Family show.
It's a whiskey show. You sit around and watch it with your kids?
No. I could.
Yeah, you could. So, Four Roses, single barrel proof, every day goes out?
I don't know if it's every day, but I think it's at least 2 times a week. And it's different at Cox Creek versus the actual distillery site. They offer different expressions, sometimes on the same day, sometimes on different days. So you can go to one, not go to the other and find one. You can go to one, not go to the other and not find one. But go to both of them it's a journey. It's a journey.
I've been there, but I went in the afternoon for a tour time and they didn't have it, of course.
And the ladies or the men who answer the phone down there are super helpful, and they will tell you if they've got something or if something's coming. So,
Heaven Hill puts something out most every day, if not every day. It used to be a lot different than it is now. They've changed the way they do it. They don't announce it ahead of time.
They have to, because people are idiots.
It's shit on the sidewalk and punching each other's, boxing everybody's ears over a bottle of whiskey,
right?
Throwing their chairs out. I wish somebody threw my chair.
If you went there and put a chair up, I would kick the legs out from under with you sitting in it.
Just see what happened.
Mhm.
Would you be recording it?
I would try. If I wasn't, I'd have somebody.
So Heaven Hill's a fun one, right? My wife and I popped in there on our way home one day.
You know the funny thing about Heaven Hill, like, so you go there, and it's not their actual distillery site. They don't distill anything on that site.
I don't know that I necessarily knew that.
Yeah.
But they have rick houses on that site.
They have a bunch of rick houses.
Everywhere.
But everything is distilled at New Bernheim in Louisville.
And then they truck it.
Yep.
I don't think I knew that. I've never done the tour there.
Right.
So my
And
wife,
they still do tours there. They do tastings and everything else. But
well, see, that's one of the things that, I've been to a lot of distilleries. You've been to quite a few more.
I don't know if I'd say that.
When you're running around in there, they're all fairly, there's a lot in a small area, right?
Yeah, they're trying to maximize their real estate.
Speaking of, they've been there for 100 years. Speaking of Heaven Hill, I got this Parker's Heritage Orange Curacao finished there. You turned me on to this. And
It tastes like orange peanuts.
Huh?
You heard me.
Yeah, like an orange peanut sandwich. So,
I thought I was saying those orange carnival peanuts is what I was thinking.
circus peanuts, like those marshmallow ones.
Yeah.
I bet if you mix that with that schmallow.
Go ahead. I want to see how it turns out.
Where's that? I'll do it. I'll do it for the love of science.
Don't be an idiot. Come on. We got to give it.
Just stop.
Yeah.
So go check these places out. Even if you don't have a tour, between your tours, swing by. Like we went to Maker's Mark.
I will say this, and I have tried. The most you can do reasonably in a day's time is 3 tours.
But you can stop to other gift shops.
You can, well, especially if you go to like Bardstown, because there's a lot of places to go in Bardstown. That being said, it could also pique your interest and maybe want to go back and say, you know what, I'd like to take a tour of that place. They're pretty cool. So,
Grab you a Glencairn, a T-shirt, and a lot of these places you can at least try something that's only in the distillery. Like we had some time to kill on our way to Limestone Branch, I believe. We popped into Luxco, just for something to kill some time because we were driving by it and ended up getting at the time was distillery only release at Davidson Toasted. It's out everywhere now. But these places all put stuff out that are really hard to get, and they're very coveted.
A lot of times, yes.
Maker's Mark does it.
I wouldn't even say they're hard to get. They just put out unique things that you can't get anywhere except there, which is why they do it.
Yeah, it's a great time. So if you're going to go down,
I mean, you're not going to go to Buffalo Trace and get a bottle of George C's, something out of the antique collection, but you can go there and get Single Oak Project because I've done it.
You got lucky there for Single Oak Project.
2 bottles.
Maybe we ought to have that on the show. I've never had it.
We could.
You think that goes for extra in the secondary market?
Yeah.
40 times.
Right.
So there's these other things that you can do in the secondary market that, and if you watched our first episode, we're not saying that we think it's crazy for anybody to pay extra. It's all what you want to do.
It is.
We have our own opinions and we're going to express those. Like there's these other groups on Facebook, and you and I just kind of talked about it, where you basically pick a number between 1 and 10. They have their own methods of selecting, right? So you buy a raffle ticket. So like the first example we have here is I saw a bottle of Blanton's, $40 a ticket, and there's 10 tickets sold. Therefore, that's crazy to me.
It happens.
Then you also see one, a Weller Special Reserve and an Antique 107, $18 for a chance to buy the bundle. Not a bad deal. A kosher wheat and a kosher rye. What do you think of that kosher wheat?
It's not bad, and I find that hard to believe that price, but maybe it is.
Yeah, Stag Junior, $31 for your chance to win. I don't know. They're interesting. I like it. I like them at a little over retail. I don't like them at 4 or 5 times retail, even on
I'll say this. The best way to figure out if you really want to chase something, find a whiskey bar, go in and have 1 pour of whatever you're looking for. There are enough whiskey bars out there that have everything. And it's going to cost you a little bit, maybe. It might cost you $30 to $50, $60, $70 for 1 pour. If you have the 1 pour, you'll know whether you want to keep chasing it and keep trying to spend money that you shouldn't spend.
Is that Mike?
I don't think so. But
do you need to check?
No. Find a whiskey bar and have a pour. And that will eliminate a lot of your angst of trying to find it.
Or
it will solidify it, and you'll know I've got to find a bottle. I don't care what it takes.
Well, or go to your friends that collect whiskey, right? So Chad let me try this one time at his house. This Parker's Heritage Orange Curacao. It just gets horrible reviews.
You love it.
I love it, and I got really lucky and got it at Heaven Hill. We waited in line for an hour for it. Speaking of waiting in line, would you wait in line for whiskey?
Depending on the whiskey, I probably would. I have.
That was a blind draw. We had no idea. We were passing through. We stopped. We got there.
That's the universe talking to you, is what that is.
Get your good whiskey. So we had fun. We met some people. It was a good time.
Because that was like a week after you were in my house.
I got that the same week that I got 1792 Sweet Wheat, which I paid an exorbitant amount of money for. I paid $200.
But you had them
for it.
both at my house.
I had them both the week before at your house. Loved them both. This is early on.
Oh, yeah. It's the universe talking to you.
So I go into this liquor store in Florida, and I see this bad boy sitting on the shelf, the 1792 Sweet Wheat.
What's that taste like?
Try it.
I'm just going to weed it out, I think.
You're just drinking wheat. Yeah, that's it. So Chad let me try that. He let me try. You poured me some Maker's Mark expressions that day. Had a real nice tasting and dinner, and I had to have one of these. And we just happened to go into this little liquor store in Florida, and he had one. I said, "How much is that?" He said, $200. And I said, when you're early on, you don't
Gotta have it.
You don't know. Well, it's like that's supposed to be $39.99. He's just like,
I gotta go care.
He's like, go buy it somewhere. Then.
Right. I'll take all the cases you can bring me.
Yeah, and I said, no, I'll give you $80 for it. He's like, 200.
Beat it.
I said, I'll give you 150. He said 200, and I bought it.
Right.
Was it smart? I don't know. I've had $200 worth of fun.
Did you like it?
I love it.
Did you want it?
I wanted it, and I bought it.
Could you afford it?
I could afford it.
Buy it.
Got it. So would I do it again?
Probably not.
Probably not, because there's other ways to get things more reasonable, right?
Right.
So, like, join Patreon. Go to www.bourbonbattlesblind.com, learn more about our Patreon community by going to that link. And maybe those guys help each other find stuff in different regions.
Yep.
Or maybe there's a way to figure out if you like stuff by sharing. So
let's get on with the get on. We only got 3 more things to talk about.
Let's talk about these real quick.
Okay.
You want one of these?
Sure.
So, hey, speaking of our website, if you go to our website, there's a link for the Hoosier Wood guy that makes these bad boys. He's got all kinds of stuff. You just have to click that link. If you go to the link on our webpage, you get 10% off automatically. And it helps support the channel. So check that guy out.
Got a little devil's cut in there still, too. You
Lick
could evaporate that out and maybe get you a little.
Lick it. So, yeah, check that out. Check out all of our social media. You'll find it all on our website. It's up on the screen. So the next thing I want to talk about, this is actually really cool. As you start to meet people in the bourbon community, especially if you're new, like Chad knows what I want, and we both travel to different parts of the country.
A lot. We have a lot in the last couple of years, especially.
Yeah, so if he sees something he knows I want, we get stuff for each other. Develop those relationships.
Without even asking.
We don't even have to ask anymore.
Right.
Get to that point with a few people. You'd be amazed at what that can do for your collection. Or, like one of your favorite things is these Maker's Mark private selects.
I don't know.
You like those?
Yeah, I might.
You really like it. You like that one I got you in Florida, I think, pretty good. That's a good one.
I like the Mocha Staves, bud.
Yeah.
Those are the old school ones. Those are when people were buying barrels when nobody else would. That's why they're getting Mocha Staves still. That's why.
So what do you think about buying a couple extra bottles just to trade for other stuff you want?
Well, my thought on that is if you've got $1,000 to spend on whiskey and you find one bottle that's 100 or you find 10 bottles that's 100 and they're all the same and you want to buy them all, it's none of my business. You were at the right place at the right time and you got what you got, and if somebody gets mad at you for it, I don't know what to tell them.
Yeah, most of these places anymore, they limit the things that they want to limit.
Right. But it's none of my business to tell a guy what he can spend his money on.
Like, I'll take these quite often when I see them just to trade people, because there's people who just got to have it. And, if you pay $65.99 for one of those and a guy wants to give you a Maker's Mark private select because that's what you're into, I'm cool with that. So the guy gets something he wanted.
And the Bland's is cheaper than the Maker's Mark. So
yeah, you make $4.
Wow.
Or whatever.
That's, yeah.
So one of the best ways, can you see that last comment?
Yep.
What's the best way to get allocated whiskey?
Besides being lucky,
that's a big
find a reputable, in your opinion, good liquor store that carries a good selection of spirits, that does their own store picks, and go there and make a relationship with the owner or the manager or whomever. But that's going to be, I think, your best way of getting anything, because if you go there and you're consistently going there and they know that, they're going to maybe think, well, you know what, I've got a case of this and 2 bottles are going here and 2 bottles are going here and a bottle's going here, but I still got a bottle. I wonder what I can do with that.
But this guy'd like an Eagle Rare.
Next time I see that guy, I'm going to ask him, because he's real nice. We have a good conversation. I'm going to ask him. Maybe he'll take it, maybe he won't.
Yeah.
So
get to know your liquor store owners, patronize their business. Stop. You don't have to buy something every time you go.
And you don't have to wear them out either. Keep that in mind. Do not wear them out.
Yeah, don't show up every Tuesday because you heard that's when the truck comes in and
Don't follow
pestering.
Follow the Buffalo Trace truck to their shop.
Yeah, and when I say you don't have to, a lot of people feel obligated to go buy something every time. Don't feel obligated.
They don't care if you buy anything or not, but they do appreciate you coming by and being polite and having a decent conversation. Everybody appreciates that.
But also, don't go show up 40 times and never buy anything and just hope that the guy's going to say, "You want on Blanton's?"
You never know, man.
But yeah, get to know these guys. What else you got about allocated secondary buying, Facebook?
It's a crazy market. You're going to do what you're going to do. I don't necessarily care whether a person doesn't do it. What I will say is, if you don't do it, don't be mad at the guy that does do it. And if you do it, don't get mad at the guy that doesn't do it. And there's no reason to cuss each other out. I mean, it is what it is. People are going to be what they're going to be. Everybody comes from different forms, different walks. Everybody's got different financial means. Everybody's got more time. Some people got more time than other people. Some people got harder, stronger desires than other people. So you just got to go with it, make the best of it.
Chad and I both have a lot of allocated whiskey, and that's because we go out there and look for it.
Yeah, more than I ever should have.
Yeah, and I can remember a time there was a grand opening of a liquor store that I ended up with a ticket to and got some cool stuff. And a guy pushed me out of the way, literally, physically, to get a Weller Special Reserve. I don't get that at all. Good job, pal. They got Maker's Mark right there by the truckload. So one thing I'll say to close this out, we'll use this as an example because seems to be one of the most sought after whiskeys. It's $64.99 to $75. People can get $100 for it. You can get $100 for those on the secondary market, but I promise you, if you take it home, you'll have more than $25 extra worth of enjoyment out of it.
Well, and the next thing too, let's go back to the original reason why we ever started doing this. Drink it blind, and then tell me what you think. I'm a firm believer that there are a lot of things you can drink against this blind that are far better for far less money and far more available.
Hobo piss?
And no matter what anybody says, thinks, gets mad, chews, spits, chomps, slaps, I don't care. Call us, come see us, email us, and we can set you up with some things. And you're going to be like, holy, can't believe that.
We've got a video, 10 alternatives to Blanton's. Nowhere did we say there are 10 better whiskeys, but most of them are.
A lot of them, I think, a lot of them are, but that's just like I said, it's my opinion. It doesn't matter what, people are going to think what they're going to think. It's back to the thing I told you a long time ago. Nobody's going to spend 6 weeks and $200 and say this is not good. You're just not going to do it.
No, it's awesome.
Yeah, it's the best thing they've ever had.
Yeah,
look, guys, look what I got.
I drove halfway across the country and spent way too much money.
But that's what it is. It's the game. It's the whiskey industry.
Hey,
and it's good right now. Like I said, one of these days, everybody's going to take a step and fall flat on their face.
There are people who legitimately love this stuff, and good for you.
Right.
And if you want to pay extra for it, and it's worth it to you, that's great.
Yeah.
It's good whiskey, but go out, find it, open it, drink it with your friends. And don't be a whiskey wise ass.
Please don't.
And if you drink, don't drive.
Oh, if you drink, don't drive, do the watermelon crawl.